Today we're just going right into it because today is gonna be hot. Yeah, we're talking about the church, we're talking about the Catholic Church. It's something that is a topic that most of the times a lot of people shy away from it, because when you talk about the Catholic Church, it's like, oh, don't go there, don't go there. You're talking about the Holy Mother Church, right? And you'll be seen as a bad person, you'll be seen as someone who the devil is using to bring down the church. But come on, do not go there. Do not go there, because the fact, when you check history, you do history about the black people and you do not talk about the contribution of the Vatican, the contribution of the Roman Church, the contribution to slavery and to whatever is happening right now in the motherland, both those who are in the motherland and those who are outside, then you're not doing justice with her. And this is what most of us do not want to hear. We don't want to hear where they talk about the Catholic Church, but you want to hear where they talk about these other pastors that are doing things that they are not supposed to do. Where did they come out from? It was from the church. The church was part of the existence. It was, I think there was even somewhere that it was said that recently I believe the Pope had to apologize for the contribution of the church to slavery. It is, we can always check it out. And when I was talking about LGBTQ and the statement that the Pope Francis made, I said with this statement made by this man who is like a figure in humanity, this LGBTQ will gradually become something that is normal soon in Africa. Now, what do you see happening? A lot who were hiding have started coming out, and they will tell you we are children of God, because the Pope has said it. He said that the Inquisition is a group of institutions in the church that is set to fight against heresy. Heresy, of course. When you are against the teachings of the church, you are against what the church is saying, you are a heretic. So you are propagating heresy. When you propagate teachings that the church do not approve, you're propagating heresy. And of course, what happened to those persons? We don't talk about it. We always shy away from it. And that is exactly what happened to Africa when they came to Christianizers. Those that were refusing, those that said no, were tagged as bad people, and most of the times they even use Africans to delete them. They pick us up, they change their name, change everything about us. The westernizers and said the Christianizers. The Inquisition began around the 12th century and went all through for a long time. When you see what is done to people that do not follow the teachings of the church, you see the way they torture people. When I started studying through the things that were used to torture people that refused to accept the teachings of the church, they tag them as demonic people because they refuse to accept what you're bringing up. They tag them as demonic people, they tag them as the enemy of the church. Of course, they'll be seen as ungodly people, they'll be seen as people that are not worthy, they are not holy. And you see how they treat these people. Some of them are roasted to death. This is an institution that should welcome people, that should open her hands to welcome people. Some were roasted. If you see the level of torture that is given to people by the church, you will have to ask question, what is really happening?
You see, the church knew that Jesus as a person never walked on this earth, but in order to force this lie, they unleashed violence on humanity. We can see that during the period of the Holy Inquisition, especially around 1184. The church had an evil book they titled Malleus Maleficarium, written in 1486 to 1487, where it instructed the soldiers of Christ, where it instructed the clergy, to torture and kill innocent men and women who are not Christians, especially those they declared witches and wizards. The book gave different instructions on how to compel false confessions from innocent atheists, scientists, and others whose philosophies contradict church teachings. When Christianity came to Rome, okay, it met with the pagans who have already established a well-recognized system. When it entered Rome, it had a fierce battle with the pagans. Now, Constantine was the Roman emperor during that period, and around 313 AD, knowing that this religious conflict between the Christians and the pagans will turn down the empire, he decided to legalize Christianity. Not because he was a Christian, but because he doesn't want the Roman Empire to be torn apart. So when he legalized Christianity through an edict called the Edict of Milan, Christianity became a legal religion. Now, in 381 AD, Emperor Theodosius, through the Edict of Thessalonica, declared Christianity the only religion in Rome. When Christianity was later legalized and recognized by the Roman Empire as the only state religion, every other religion was declared a heresy. Every other religion, its members were declared heretics, and members were burnt alive. Their temples, their place of worship were destroyed, and Christians, who were mainly the Catholics, became the leading religious body of the Roman Republic. As Christianity spread from Rome to Europe, finally it came to Africa. In Africa, it came through the ship of slave trade.
In the year 2000, the late Pope John Paul II apologized for the level of the torture during the Inquisition. He didn't apologize for the Inquisition itself, but he apologized for the level of torture. Now the question I have is, if this Creator so loved us all, so created us all, and He is in all of us, why then should we treat a fellow man so low and without pity? Now, what do we preach at the process? Now, this idea of, I don't know what to call it, the spirit of the Inquisition is still around us, everywhere. We are being polluted by it. When someone is for you, you say the person is good. But when the person starts seeing something wrong with what you do, you start saying the person has been possessed by the devil. And you start sourcing for ways to bring down that person. This is always, or this has always been the idea of the church. When you are for the church, you are good. The spirit of the Creator is in you. You are moving on the right track. But when you begin to see or point out things that are wrong in the church, you will be termed as the devil. And others will be dragged to look at you as well as a bad person. Now, where this thing is intense is, they don't just look at you as a bad person, but they instigate others to start treating you as a bad person. This is still happening. I don't know if you sit quietly and rethink about this, you see that it's happening around us. Why do you think that majority of the churches we have, if you're a Catholic, you will go to heaven. If you're a Methodist, you will go through, you come towards the gates. If you are most of these Pentecostal churches, you are not going close to heaven. And same ideology they have. If you are coming to my church, whichever name, because there are lots of names of churches right now. When you are a member in my church, you have a ticket to heaven. But if you are a Catholic, you are not going to heaven. Now, what exactly are we doing? This just shows that we are going off the track. There is something we are missing. And do you think it is coincidence? It's never coincidence. Because there is nothing that happened that is coincidence. That is my belief. I'm gradually getting to discover a lot of lies. I'm gradually getting to discover myself as an African, as a melanated queen with a lot of abilities. I get to know and understand that there is nothing in this life that is coincidence. Everything happened because there is an energy and vibration behind it. So there is nothing like coincidence. So these are how things are in the church. And this is exactly what is happening today. What do you think about this? Because it is through these still teachings of Inquisition, these ideas of Inquisition, that Christianity was brought to the shores of Africa. It was brought on the ship. The ship is the slave ship called Jesus of Lubeck. This was the first ship that visited the shores of Africa and went with slaves. Now, if that name was really a mighty name, no, not Yesh, I'm not talking about Yeshua. I'm talking about the one that formulated. Now, why do you use that word to come deceive people? If that name is truly powerful and mighty and everything, you call it the ship that you use to come pick people. You use that name to name the ship that you use to come pick people for slavery. Now, come on, do you have a heart? And if that name was so powerful, why would he or she, wherever they are, sit where they are and allow you keep using the name to perpetrate evil? We have to return back to our originality. As the melanated, as the 12th tribe of Israel, we have to return back to who we really are and rediscover ourselves. Because a lot of things we see are lies. They built lies on truths that were existing. And that is why they try to confuse us. Remember, they built lies on the truth that already existed. So it is difficult. We are more confused because they deliberately did that. So you don't really find out what is the truth and what is the lie. But the Creator is working for himself and things are coming to light. Leave your comment and fill there the section, and we'll see you in my next one. Until then, love yourself, love others, stay safe, stay positive. Bye for now.